Lesson 5, Oral Language. Oral language is an important foundation for comprehension. Oral language enables students to instantly attach meaning to decoded words. It enables students to file, store, and retrieve information easily, and it enables students to make visual images of what they are reading. Additionally, oral language enables students to engage in inner dialogue as they read, and it enables them to use context effectively to determine the pronunciation or meaning of unfamiliar words. Your manual has several oral language units. The units are planned around a topic or theme. You can use the units in any order. There is a 5-minute activity outlined for each day of the week. Let's look at the different kinds of activities. The naming activity builds oral language and world knowledge. This activity begins a unit on Monday. You will choose a topic that relates to a story you will later read to the students, or a topic that relates to a thematic unit of study. We will use clothing for our topic. First, students name anything they think of when they think of clothing: dress, shoes, shirt, pants, coat, sweater, shorts, and so on. This activity is rapid. It is entirely oral. Nothing is written on the board. It is controlled pandemonium, allowing students to respond without raising their hands and without being called upon. Since this can be quite noisy, you may want to call on groups of students to name items related to a specific topic. You want students to be exposed to as much oral language as possible. After naming generally about a topic, students name items in specific categories. For example, if our unit is clothing, students might name clothing with sleeves, name things that you wear on your feet, name clothing you wear in the winter, name clothing you wear in the summer. Naming in different categories helps students organize their language. On Tuesday, students name other objects related to the topic, such as work clothes, school clothes, and so on. Students name other objects associated in some way with the original topic. Name things you wear on your hands or kinds of shoes. Students name more detailed associations with a particular object. For example, they may name all the parts of a shoe. A very important comprehension skill is summarization. Students must succinctly organize their thoughts. Describing an object using the describing hierarchy helps students to organize their thoughts in a succinct manner. On Wednesday, students will describe 2 or 3 objects or pictures of objects that relate to the topic. Students describe each object using the describing hierarchy. Name the object, name categories the object belongs in, name the functions, use, or purpose of the object, name its color, size, and shape. Compare it to another object. Students might even try a simile or a metaphor.